I'm actually going to try to say anime this entire time. I might just sub in animation because I just can't stand the way that animation sounds. Anyway, when it comes to anime fashion or animation fashion collaborations, mouthful, most of the time it's a bunch of novelty prints slapped on some tees. And while that's cool for all the strict, I just want an animation t-shirt fans, those of us that would like for labels to take it to the next level are sorely disappointed by the lack of effort. That is until now. Jun Takahashi, through his Tokyo Fashion Week Runway 2021 show, pretty much sealed the deal for how animation tie-ins should be approached, but it also says more about how damn consistent Junio continues to be. But we gotta break it down a bit further, so I'm your boy Reggie Casual, and this is... So many of you have probably already seen the latest Undercover Evangelion collaboration that debuted on Tokyo Fashion Week. And while we could start there, let's take a little step back at how the past has slapped up Japanese animation collabs. Of course, we've had our Babe Dragon Ball collabs. However popular at the time they were, it still left a lot to be desired, to the point where fans were creating their own mock-ups of how those collabs should have gone, with varying degrees of success and results. Some of them were actually pretty good though. We've also seen Dickies Japan handle Dragon Ball with the Z attached, and while notable, was still okay. They used embroidery instead of prints. We even saw Extra Large Japan take on DBZ and Naruto. Flagstaff also unloaded a DBZ, Adidas tried a DBZ, and by now you're probably sensing a pattern. But Supreme ended that ridiculousness by dishing out a half-hearted Akira collab, so that's great. It was thoughtful, but it was one of those moments where everyone was like, why the hell didn't Supreme reimagine the Pill Rider's jacket worn by the movie's main character, Kaneda? It seemed like right up their alley, and it seemed like an effing layup. And it was a complete slap in the face to those who probably got into fashion in large part because of that movie. I mean, not everybody, at least some of them like fashion because of Akira. But Japan also takes advantage of having varying franchises in-house, in-country. Just in the last few years, Yohji Yamamoto's street-inspired Ground Y has chalked up amazing collaborations with Ghost in the Shell, One Piece, and, what we're gonna talk about later, Evangelion. All which were incredibly popular, with a dose of Yohji flair and an integration that made sense beyond just print, slapped on t-shirt, sell. They were fully realized collections, and frankly, up until now, were probably the best collaborations between fashion brands and animation properties ever done. Enter Undercover Fall 2021, which proved to be very personal for Jun around the edges. A pajama-like wardrobe started the show off on the menswear side, but really it was genderless. And on the other side, we had the women's couture madness. I mean, let's stop right there, because the women's collection was a dazzling array of construction, progressive layering, pattern, and technique that really deserves a lot more attention, as it's probably one of the most technically proficient collections that Jun has done in a minute, and that is saying something. Seriously, Jun can turn it off and on when he wants to. And when he turns it on, it's nearly impossible to find another designer in this generation to tap into whatever Jun is tapping into. No matter how you swing it, the guy is just on another level. And that's being objective. Which is the reason why the second half is so special. Not only was it one of the most ambitious animation fashion crossover collections ever, it outshined a women's collection that was absolutely phenomenal. And you know how much the fashion industry loves the women's runway. An animation collaboration killed the noise on that. But let's really dig in here. We had jacquard sweaters with familiar Evangelion motifs, parkas directly inspired by Evangelion units, plug suit inspired pieces like those worn by the pilots Shinjire and Asuka from the series. And what's great is we got an array of headgear to match each look that looked like Eva's, right? And while they may not make it to the retail floor, that was great fan service. And then there was the puffer down jackets. Hot damn it if they weren't the highlight of this entire ridiculousness, immediately setting off fire alarms across the animation faithful. The paneled puffers really brought the collection together with a seriousness that even for a person who's never seen Evangelion before could actually appreciate, be like, damn, that's actually dope. Oh, and just in case you want something more traditional, the entire collaboration eases out with several easier to wear pieces that host a number of prints, motifs, and designs from the actual animation itself, but still done with a seriousness and tone that doesn't create unneeded dissonance, and the collection themed Creep Very, which goes into a whole nother thing that we just can't get into right here. The collection is lining up with the long-awaited and final installment of the Evangelion series. But seriously, this is what it should be like. Anno Hideaki-san should be proud as hell that Jun pulled this off with such prowess that it could quite possibly usher in a new era of Japanese animation fashion collaborations. There are no longer any more excuses, particularly for a generation that sees Japanese anime as a benefit to the culture of fashion rather than the hidden hobby of yesteryear. It's no longer hidden. People are like gung-ho about this stuff. And we all know these animations, you know? Like, even for those of us that don't partake in it as much as we did when we were just a little bit younger, like myself. But nonetheless, if more labels could just put in half the effort of this undercover collection, then it would be worth it if they follow in the footsteps. Oh, and also Undercover is coming out with some dunks. You know, that happened, but yeah, that's kind of boring. So give us more of the Evangelion stuff. In any case, let us know your thoughts about the collection in the comments. Yay, nay, WTH. That was corny. And if you want to support, get extra content, learn about brand building or how to build a brand or, you know, all of that stuff, just join us on Patreon. Holler at us. Or maybe just join our private Discord. We got that too. But most importantly, keep it locked right here for all of your info on international street fashion culture and business from Tokyo. It's your boy, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. And I will see you guys in a minute. じゃあ今日はここまでです。I'm out.